A storm of public criticism is engulfing Sir Keir Starmer following reports of Labour's proposed £5 billion reduction in disability benefits, plans that have prompted a wave of indignation not only from disability rights advocates but also from a diverse array of prominent British public figures. At the heart of the growing backlash is Lee Ridley, widely known as the Lost Voice Guy, the stand-up comedian and cerebral palsy sufferer who captured the nation's hearts when he won Britain's Got Talent in 2018. Ridley has now emerged as a leading voice of opposition to the policy, joining over 100 actors, musicians, Paralympians, writers, and campaigners in signing a scathing open letter to the Labour leader, denouncing the cuts as inhumane and catastrophic. Let's be clear, this is no fleeting celebrity tantrum or clickbait social media campaign. This is real, raw political resistance to a policy many believe would irreparably harm some of the most vulnerable members of British society. Welcome to Alert View, your guide through the ever-deepening quagmire of British politics. And if this latest debacle is anything to go by, you might want to keep the kettle on, because the details are as unsettling as they are far-reaching. A £5 billion blow, why the cuts are sparking outrage. So, what exactly has caused such uproar? The proposed reforms, according to leaked reports, would result in the slashing of £5 billion from the disability welfare budget, a sum that, while accounting for a mere fraction of overall government expenditure, could have life-altering consequences for countless people who depend on that support to lead anything resembling an independent life. And while £5 billion may seem an abstract figure to some, the implications are anything but. For millions of disabled individuals across the UK, this funding covers essential costs, support for daily living, mobility, transport, mental health care, and personal carers. This is not discretionary income. It is, for many, the thin line between stability and crisis. The reforms include a tightening of eligibility criteria for personal independence payment, PIP, a benefit designed to help with extra living costs for those with long-term physical or mental health conditions. The changes are expected to introduce more stringent assessments, effectively raising the threshold for receiving support. Critics argue this will further entrench systemic discrimination against disabled people and increase the number of wrongful refusals already prevalent under the current system. In addition, the government plans to scrap the Work Capability Assessment, a mechanism, however flawed, which determines whether an individual is capable of employment or entitled to additional support. Removing this framework without a suitable replacement has drawn particular alarm, with campaigners fearing that the vacuum will lead to a default assumption that all claimants are fit for work, regardless of medical evidence to the contrary. Another proposal includes merging incapacity benefits into universal credit, a move that risks subsuming specialized support into an already heavily criticized benefits system, known for long delays, underpayments, and punitive sanctions. Worse still, under-22s would reportedly be barred entirely from claiming certain disability benefits, potentially depriving young people of the critical support they need during the most formative years of their lives. Lee Ridley speaks out, "This isn't a luxury, it's survival." Among the growing chorus of dissenters, Lee Ridley's voice, though delivered via assistive technology, has cut through with particular force. In an exclusive comment, Ridley dismantled the notion that disability support is a luxury or an indulgence. PIP isn't a luxury, he stated. It levels the playing field. It enables me to function, to work, to live a life of dignity. It covers the basics that most people take for granted: getting dressed, managing fatigue, traveling safely. Ridley's testimony is all the more compelling for the fact that he is, by all accounts, an active contributor to the economy. He continues to perform, pay taxes, and engage with the public. PIP doesn't make me rich, he adds. It simply makes it possible for me to participate in society. Take it away, and everything falls apart. In short, this is not about enabling dependency, it's about facilitating autonomy. The reality, according to Ridley and many others, is that disability support empowers people to live fuller, more productive lives, not less. Government justifications ring hollow. In response to the backlash, a government spokesperson defended the policy by citing a rise in disability benefit claims since the COVID-19 pandemic. Their explanation? That the surge necessitates a rebalancing of the system to ensure support is targeted at those most in need. But to critics, this rationale is at best disingenuous, and at worst a smokescreen for austerity politics in disguise. Many have pointed out that the pandemic disproportionately affected disabled people, both in terms of health outcomes and economic hardship. Rather than addressing those structural inequalities, the government appears to be punishing those who are now seeking help. As one campaigner put it, they are trying to put out a fire with petrol. The suggestion that tightening eligibility will somehow improve efficiency glosses over the fact that thousands of people already face lengthy, demeaning assessments and appeals to access vital support. Far from being too generous, the current system is widely regarded as broken, and these proposals, rather than repairing it, appear to deepen its flaws. Redefining human worth, a dangerous narrative. Perhaps the most disturbing element of the proposed reforms lies not in the policy itself, but in the narrative underpinning it, the implication that disabled people must earn their place in society through productivity. That their value is measured not by their humanity, but by their economic output. This is not only ethically indefensible, it is a slippery slope toward social Darwinism in modern dress. The Celebrity's open letter captures this concern with precision. Disabled lives are inherently valuable, whether someone can work or not. A radical proposition in today's political climate, apparently. Framing welfare as a burden or a disincentive to work feeds into the stigma that disabled people are somehow feckless or undeserving. It strips individuals of dignity and fails to recognize the structural barriers, lack of accessible transport, discriminatory hiring practices, chronic illness, that prevent many from participating in the workforce even when they are willing and able to do so. What happens next? With a parliamentary vote on the proposals expected next month, the stakes could not be higher. These are not abstract policy decisions affecting balance sheets and budget forecasts. They are real, tangible changes that will determine the daily lives of millions of Britons. Whether or not the government proceeds with the cuts, this moment has already sparked a broader national reckoning. What kind of society do we wish to be? Do we uphold the principle that all citizens, regardless of ability, are entitled to dignity, support, and inclusion? Or do we continue down a path where compassion is conditional and solidarity is sacrificed on the altar of fiscal pragmatism? For now, all eyes are on Westminster. And this time, the public is watching, and speaking, louder than ever.